There you go. Hi, Judy. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't believe that we're finally doing this #1. Yay! So
Yay!
excited. Yeah, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It's really, challenging, confusing, really scary times for a lot of us. Not all of us are finding it that way, but there's a lot of us that are. I'm just wondering if we can, just so that our audience knows a little bit about you, perhaps just let us know where in the world you are, and perhaps just what it is that you do for work, or what you do to fill your time in during the day.
Hey Laura, yeah, as you said, I'm in Tauranga, which is in New Zealand. So it's a beautiful part of the world, right down the bottom. I work full time pretty much for a council here in customer services. So yeah, lots of people interaction, different ways of doing that, different ways of that touch point, lots of different scenarios going on at the moment with
I reckon
regards
that there would be. Eh?
yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot different to what maybe last week would have looked like.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, a little bit, my council in particular is a little bit isolated because we're a small rural council in the Bay of Plenty in Tauranga, in New Zealand. So the big cities are probably leading the way, like Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, Dunedin, our four major cities here. So yeah, we're not necessarily behind the 8 ball, but we'll certainly be watching and seeing where that's leading, and also obviously with the government as well, and directives that come out of there with regards to this.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know just in Auckland yesterday, they closed all the swimming pools and the libraries and the art galleries. So I'm assuming that at some point that would probably filter down, wouldn't it?
I would suggest so. I'd say probably, I don't know, I haven't got a crystal ball, I can't say, and I'm not in that management area to know, but possibly within the next, I'd say probably by the end of this week, I would say like Friday, possibly we would have a directive of either minimising contact of people that are allowed in at a certain time, like only maybe 5 people at a time or something like that, or they'll be closing down completely, for that, for whatever time frame that will be.
And I think it's really important for us just to go with whatever the directives are. So if we've been told that they're closed, then we just shut them. That we don't have our typical New Zealand she'll be right attitude. Won't affect me. It's only the other people that get affected. I think we have to be quite mindful around just doing our best, not only for ourselves, but for those of us who are around us.
Absolutely, and we need to be able to put our trust, I feel, into those officials and those politicians, that they are actually doing this for the benefit of the country. They don't want to see us fail. We are only a small, country. I mean, really, at the end of the day, we are a country, the population, less than the population of a major city like New York or London, Our population is what, 4.5, 5 million people through the whole country. So we are literally having to just band together in this and listen to our people, because our people in charge don't want this country to fail. Absolutely not. And neither does any other economic area through the world either, because obviously we have trade that all gets affected, things like that. So even though we are small, we're actually quite big on the export market here in New Zealand with our dairy and our kiwi fruit, things like that. So the economic powers through the world are aware of that. So hopefully everyone will band together and we will see a movement of whatever that movement will look like. I don't know, but it is exciting times. It's scary times for sure. So I mean, we also have a business, a small person business, a sole person. My husband runs that, and I do the paperwork. So I don't know where we're going to be with that. I really don't know. At the moment, it's not looking very good, and it's only been like the first week. So time will tell.
Yeah, lots of, I've actually heard of a camp up the road that's had to lay off about 30 of their staff. It's going to start hitting home.
Yeah, I felt really bad today because we actually had a major, not a major event, but we had a weekend away with a group of us and of varying ages, from older people down to a guy in his 20s type thing. I'm in a car club, so it gives you the sort of scenario of what it would be.
Mm.
And we were going to go to Taupo, which is a tourist spot here in New Zealand. We'd all booked our accommodation, and they'd booked us in for different events to go on, and it's been cancelled. So I actually had to ring the motel and tell them that we weren't coming, and you could just hear that I wasn't the first one to tell them that, and it's quite devastating for a lot of people. It really, really is, because it's not going to be easy for a lot of people.
Yeah, but together we are strong, right? If we all do this
Yeah,
together,
absolutely. Yeah,
then
and what we have to remember is we are strong, and now's the time I feel that we need to stand together and not just think about ourselves. We need to think about our neighbours that maybe we don't get on with, or people down the street that we don't like the look of, whatever it may be. Just stand together and be together, because at the end of the day we are all in it together, whatever that looks like. Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day that and I did a post about it as well, that perhaps this has actually come at a really good time, right? The turmoil and the washing machine effect, or being thrown out of the barrel as it spins off the waterfall kind of feeling that we're having right now isn't nice. It's not pleasant. It's not enjoyable. It's not familiar. However, what if it's all just to shake us up and to help us to reprioritize what it is that we're doing in our lives? So many of us have prioritized work and money and career and no sleep and not eating well and just, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That kind of situational scenario, that perhaps not only us, but perhaps the earth just needs a break.
It does.
Take a look at all the resources.
Look like a reset. I mean, you already look at what they're saying on the media with the amount of pollution over China and different countries that have had really bad pollution. We luckily don't have that here in New Zealand, but certainly the big countries, and the big cities, and the remarkable reducement that has happened already, and it's only been a month since it's really came out, or since it came out. It's been around a bit longer than that, if you believe everything that's been said. But I mean, we live in a great country, you and I, here in New Zealand, and there's lots of great places through the world. There's beautiful places. Everywhere's beautiful. Everywhere has its own beautiful place. It doesn't matter if you live in a big city, or if you live on the edge of a lake, or if you live in a mountain. Everywhere has that beautiful spot. And maybe this is just a time, I think, I've been thinking about it as well, that we actually do need to actually just be able to appreciate and enjoy and just breathe in the moment, and not be so self-centered and so worried about everything. And at the end, I don't know, but it is scary. I mean, we all have our own nerves about it. We all have our own thoughts and feelings. I've been pretty good about it up until today. Actually, today it's sort of really hit home that this is actually really bad, because now we've got 56 people. I know that's a small number, but for New Zealand, it's actually quite big. You know what I mean? So then I heard that on the news at lunchtime. It was like, wow, okay, this is really, it really is getting real now. So and it's going to affect so many. Once the schools close down or whatever, parents are going to be home with their kids, which is going to be interesting. But that's an interesting dynamic in itself. All that sort of thing. How does education continue, and how does everything go on? So it's going to be interesting.
And I think what I've been so proud of is just how fast people have kicked into action with this. Like we've had Jacinda Ardern put in that, the governmental support for people, businesses who can meet that certain criteria. Like I know people in South Africa who they do not get that level of support. Like we are so incredibly fortunate to be able to be helped like that, and to have our data companies saying, hey, we're not capping your data at home, like
Yeah.
feel free to use it. Finally, the shops
Yeah.
are now into the whole, just take 2 of everything. Don't take a whole trolley. But it's exactly, on the flip side of that, it's the mentality of those people who are so in it for themselves that will
Yeah.
go in and will take a trolley load of bread out.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there isn't anything for anybody else.
Yeah.
There's also another South African, I'm South African, obviously, so there's another philosophy called Ubuntu, which is all about working together,
Yeah.
this wonderful lady, her name is Gertrude Matcha, and she talks a lot about that. She's done quite a few TED Talks, and now I might have to tag her in on this post. She explains Ubuntu very much like, with your body, if you've got a cut on your finger or a wound on your finger, every single white blood cell in your body rushes to that cut and it heals it up so that you don't have that cut anymore. And if people could just do that, can you imagine just how much better off we would be? And perhaps
Absolutely.
that is part of what this is teaching us, if we're open to learning it. We could come from a victim mentality of, why is this happening to me? This is all happening to me. But actually, if we think about it, it's happening to us, but not on the massive scale where 400 plus people are dying a day in Italy.
Yeah.
If we did that, we'd be wiped out in a couple of
2
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
it wouldn't take long.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I think that we are at that point where we can really look at what our mindset is and we can really aim to try and shift it somehow. We have this ability now to go, okay, do I want to be negative and just think about myself and be that kind of person? Because that's what we've been doing up until this point.
Yeah.
And then we have this big crack and we're like, what's happening? And then we're on this side now where we kind of just go, hang on, that doesn't serve us anymore. Because here I am and I'm busy eating all my bread and people are starving down the road.
Yeah.
So I think, there's pros and cons, right?
Absolutely. And with regards to the food situation, it's a demand problem. It's not a supply problem, because we just don't have the trucks on the road enough to be able to get the supply to the supermarkets, because like their warehouses are full of food. It's just that people are buying much more than they need or would normally buy, so therefore the trucks just can't keep up. And and they're working long and hard hours, those guys, trying to keep, because it is scary. You go to the supermarket and I don't have that mentality of I must buy all of this because who knows what's going to happen. But when you do see the gaps in the shelves or no bread on the shelves, you do have that fleeting thought of far out. It's like this is real. And so you do. I can see where that mentality can kick in if you're of a certain personality type, or if you do suffer from anxiety or depression, all those sorts of things, because this is completely outside of people's comfort zone. It doesn't matter how well grounded you are and how safe and secure we are or you are in our own life or our own perspective of how we see the world. This is completely sidewalled everything, and so I can see why people are trying to cope and trying to look after themselves, but we need to be mindful and we need to be aware that, our elderly people, like I did a shot, I did a shot for my mum, because she's of that age where she's now been warned, said not to go out. She's over 70, she's 82, and she's up in a gated community. I did a shot for my mum, but I had to be there early because for good, bad or ugly, the old people, they do like what they know, and so she likes a particular type of bread and she likes a particular type of whatever, because that's what she's had and that's how she feels comfortable. So for me as her daughter, I really tried to get that for her, but I knew I had to be there early to get it. So so it's just being aware and not being and just, yeah, I didn't want to go to the supermarket, but I did because it was my mum, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
I would do the same for any elderly, like our elderly neighbours. If they needed something, you know, I would give them whatever I had because I've got a well-stocked cupboard. I'm lucky, you know. I'm very lucky. But we aren't going to starve here. But there'll be a lot of people that aren't as fortunate, and that's what you need to remember. Yeah.
Especially if there's a lot of people. Sorry. Yeah.
Or not able to get out to buy the shopping, you know. They have limited mobility, and a lot of people don't have friends or family, you know. We tend to live in quite an isolated community now, where we used to be it took a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
Now it's just me and my kid and my husband, and that's all I've got, because I've got friends myself who, you know, have immigrated here, and they don't have any family, you know, here, and so they are very much reliant on, you know, their friends and family, on their friends, you know, and keep in touch with their family through social media, which is a blessing in itself, because you know, if this happened 20 years ago, we didn't have this social media. It was very limited back then, you know. So even for this to happen now is a blessing, you know.
Absolutely.
because it is available to us, and it's readily available, you know. It's not something that is cost prohibited as such, you know. It's so we are very fortunate, and that's through the whole world, I feel, you know. So
which I think, I guess what I'm trying to achieve with this page as well, just talking about that, is that, you know, we back in the day, and I know this because I used to write letters. I was in a long distance relationship, and I used to write letters, and you would wait for what felt like weeks. I don't know if it was, but it felt like months would go by, and then finally you'd get a letter, and then you'd have to respond, and then you'd have to send one back, and it would take weeks, you know. But now this, if that happened back then, right, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation now. You and I would not be connected, right? We would also then potentially have problems with our mail getting to each other. So how would you know if somebody was okay or not okay within your close family or within your friends or within your circle? How would you have known at a time like this? So now we have actually got the ability to communicate, right? But it's almost like we're in the same room, you know. It's like we can chat and we can socialize, and anybody who's watching this now can also feel like they're in the same room and they're connected. And I think with this page, what I'm aiming to do is to go, you know, we've just generally got disconnect in our lives. You know, we don't know who our neighbors are necessarily. You know, you don't talk to anybody because you don't have time to stop and have a chat and go into their house. You know, if you meet up with a friend, you go out and you go to a cafe. You don't go into their house anymore. You know, it's something has happened, and we've had this massive schism in how we used to be to how we are. And what's happened is that it's caused us to disconnect with ourselves and with other people and with the earth and with the land and with that which is greater than us. And so this now is so timely because this is the only way that we can connect. If we've in isolation, or if we've been told to stay indoors, just raised it up to level 2 now. You know, that if we you know, social distancing and all that, you can't hug your friends anymore. How do you say hello now? You know, I don't know, you know. I don't know, you know, and so you end up not talking with them, you know. And I think that that's the thing, that as soon as you feel restricted in some way, you go quiet and you go internal and you don't talk. I used to be an outdoor instructor, and we used to blindfold the kids, and they used to have to do something, and they would go silent. Instead of going, okay, I need you to show me which way am I stepping and how am I stepping over what, they would just be like, and I think that's what happens in something like this, is that you just lose your voice. You stop talking about it. You stop talking to people. You don't know how to be anymore. And so the beauty about this platform with finding your voice is about going, hey, this is a really good way to connect. And it's a really awesome way. And we are all connected, and we don't only have to be connected in, you know, New Zealand. We can be connected in Australia. We can be connected in China. We can, you know, anybody who we're able to communicate with can
Absolutely.
connect, and
Yeah.
we don't lose it, and we can feed off each other, and we can, you know, have a cry if we need to, or we can feel that it's okay to be okay about this,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wondered, just in wrapping up, is there any takeaway message or anything that you would just like to leave our viewers with, that they can just be like, I like that, or thank you so much, or that gives me courage? You got anything that you could offer?
I think it would have to be, my takeaway message out of all of this would be, just be kind. Let's all be kind to one another. Let's be kind to ourselves, which a lot of the time we are the hardest people to be kind to, is ourselves. Know what's in our heart, recognize it, embrace it. It doesn't matter if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling happy. It's how you're feeling at that moment in time. And we will all experience all those emotions every day, throughout the day. You know, we're no longer, I don't think at the moment we're going to be 100% happy or 100% sad. You know, be appreciative of what we do have, whatever and whoever that is. No matter if we live in a $5 million mansion on the beach, or we're living, you know, in someone's garage, or, you know, because that's a big reality, you know, now as well. You know, there's a lot of people out there that don't even have a home, you know, that they can call themselves, you know, that they can call, you know, their own. So just be aware and just be kind. That's probably it. Yeah.
I really, really like that. Judy, thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
taking some time out of your day, and you know, just the words of wisdom that you've given, and just that kind of really gentle insight and calming way that you've got, I think will really help a lot of people who are watching this. So thank you so much. Let's keep in touch.
We will.
If you feel compelled to talk about anything else, then just be back in touch with me, and we'll get you back on board.
Cool. Thanks, Laura.
All right, thanks so much. See you then.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Bye.